Hello. Are you a spiritual worker who's trying to learn everything you can about energy work to broaden your practice? Or maybe you're a spiritual seeker trying to get as much information as you can find to. Um, I'm getting a little feedback today, which is a little unusual, but I'm going to keep going. So you're a spiritual seeker, just learning everything you can because you're interested in how it all works. Or possibly you're new to energy work and you have never seen it before, you've just been introduced, and the little bit you've seen may have gotten you in line with some mystical voodoo, which is making you wig out a little bit, but you really want to get the straight goods on how it works and how everything's supposed to, how energy work really works. Sorry, Nick, I got too much feedback on your end.
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. I know it's distracting.
Okay. Sorry, guys. This is unusual. This hasn't happened before to me. So, one of those days, huh? So why am I here? I have been practicing something called the trigger release method for a really long time. And through these methodologies, I connect with the subconscious, and I find that we can address emotional, spiritual, and even physical problems by getting to the underlying root cause and releasing them from the subconscious. And to my clients, it seems like magic. But like any good magic trick, when you know exactly how it works and you understand the principles behind it, you realize there's actually nothing magical or mystical about it at all. And with a little bit of learning and understanding, you too can recreate that magic for yourself. So why am I here? My whole purpose is to make energy healing understandable and accessible to everyone. I want to show you that it's not for those rare few born with a gift who have a natural understanding of the way it all works. And so if you're here, if you want to be empowered with new knowledge and understanding of how the world really works, then I'd like to introduce you to today's topic. And today's topic is the accelerated release technique. But since I have a lot to do with that one, I'm going to be the expert on that today. I'm turning it over to my good friend, Coach Nick Pereira, and he's going to be the host for the day. So Nick, it's over to you.
Awesome. Fantastic. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate you asking me to be on this show. I think this show is so important when it comes to the idea of spirituality meeting science, because often we think of those things as conflicting subjects sometimes, right? That those are fundamentally two different worlds. But in my opinion, and from my perspective, in my journey so far, we're all inherently a scientist. We are all inherently a seeker as well, because they're the same thing. They're two different methodologies to try to answer, some of the questions that have been on human beings' minds since we had the ability to ask questions. Who are we? Where do we come from? What's our purpose? What's this all about? And how does the world really work? So I think what you're doing as far as bringing spirituality and science together is absolutely phenomenal, transformational. And I think that there's so many people out there that are seeing how these two worlds complement each other in a really great way. So look, I'm going to get right into it. My job today is clear. So just in case, for those who don't know me, my name is Coach Nick, and I am a seeker. And I actually was able to meet Renu, I don't know, maybe, I don't know. How long we know each other now? Maybe 6 months, 7 months, something like this. I'm not sure.
6 months? It's more like a year, man.
Has it been over a year? Whole time flies when you're having fun. So over the last year, I've gotten to know Renu, and we've been able to work together. And one thing I know about Renu is she's super passionate about this work, and she's got a tremendous depths of knowledge about this work. So I want to dive right into it. My job is really simple here today. It's to pull the knowledge out of you, so everybody here watching today can understand how the accelerated release technique, what it is, how it came to be, and most importantly, what it means for them and for your life. So I want to start by just asking you, spirituality meets science. Tell me the meeting, because I know your story, but I want everybody out there to know your story, which is you didn't start off very open to the world of spirituality, and this was not something that you ever thought you would imagine you would be doing. So tell us how, in your own journey, you came to being who you are today and understanding what you understand today.
Well, yeah, that's to say I wasn't open is kind of an understatement. I thought it was magical, mystical voodoo, and nobody in their right minds would would give this stuff the time of day.
So now you're questioning your own mind. You're like, am I in the right
I've been doing
mind?
that for a long time, and then at some point I just kind of had to say, you know what? If you can't beat them, join them.
That's there you go. I love it.
Just embrace it.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about your background, as far as, I know you come from a science background. Tell us about your background and exactly how you came to what you do today.
Okay, so my background, I'm a scientist at heart. So I have a background in biochemistry. I studied biochem at McGill. I wanted to be a doctor. So how classic Western medicine can it get, right?
Right.
So that's where I started, and that didn't work. I became a dietitian. So I was a dietitian for 13 years. After that, while I was a dietitian, I got introduced to some energy work. It was I like to say it was a fluke, but I know it wasn't. I mean, it was going to happen. Like,
right.
It was meant to happen. Like, and there's still part of me that says, oh my God, really? Am I seriously saying meant to be and stuff like that? But that really is the way the universe works. And if you've got a path, you've got a path. And it was just got instinct to follow my instincts when sorry, I'm just going to see if I can get some of this.
Yeah, see if you can get the headphones in. Yeah, that way. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Hey guys, everybody, this is live. This happens live TV, right? Live shows. So we got to be able to run with it, and we got to be able to make adjustments and move and change quickly. So that's what happens when you go live.
So this is like my 8th show, and it's never happened. So yeah, they didn't do it. All right. Well, we are doing what we're doing.
Yeah. Well, we'll run with it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really strange. So I was saying, so the yeah, I know. I'm just getting back on this. I've got an idea. I've got a really good idea.
What's your idea?
I'm gonna move to using this on my phone, and we'll see if I'm not in this office, if things work better. So we could
okay, sounds good.
Pause for a second. I'm gonna go take over my phone. Okay.
Absolutely, we're gonna pause it up. We're gonna make it happen. Hey guys, once again, if you're watching this live or you're watching the recording, it's live TV. These things happen. So we're going to fix this technology challenge that we've got going on right now. And that way, we can be with you and we can create some magic with you. Because again, the subject matter today. Oh, here we go. How's that?
Much better. My phone doesn't give me feedback. It's just my computer that does.
All right,
no apparent reason. But like we said, it is live TV and we roll with it.
We do. That's it. We roll with it and run with it.
Okay.
Perfect.
So we were saying the science. So like I said, it sounded like a fluke, but it just was meant to be. I got introduced to some stuff. I got shown muscle testing. I thought it was the weirdest, wildest thing I'd ever seen. And then it just got weirder and wilder after that. Like it just snowballed. And then I got introduced to a Reiki master. Don't ask me how that happened. I rolled my eyes myself when a friend of mine said she wanted to learn Reiki, and I went, Reiki, really. But I said, okay, I'll do this with you because you want to learn. And then the Reiki teacher turned out to be someone I really got along with very well, and somehow we thought that the energy work that I had been learning about, she became my mentor for a long time, and we worked together and we developed the trigger release method, which I was using all the way up until this past April. And so it's just, and the methodology, the way it developed is like, I still say I'm a scientist first.
Right.
It's research. It's because the work I do, it's subconscious work. It's not Reiki. I ask the subconscious questions and get answers, and it's really a phenomenal thing that your subconscious can talk to you. But it's about getting the right questions. So you ask better questions, you get better answers. And so that's how it really developed. Like we're talking thousands of hours of research. And so, like I said, it was done. It was rigorously done through a scientific method, even though it is energy work.
Yeah, fantastic. So you start off as the skeptic of all skeptics. This is voodoo, and nobody in their right mind is going to want to should look at this. Yep. You get introduced by a friend, and then you're like, okay, you start to learn, and then you take the scientific approach. You take a scientific method based upon research. Like you said, thousands of hours of research to be able to understand how the subconscious works, how you can speak to the subconscious, and then how you can actually use the questions that you're using and the methodology that you've developed to heal people from all kinds of things. Like, for instance, abilities to wanting to drink more water. It was something that I know you worked on together, right? I didn't really want to drink water, and now I drink water, and I drink a lot more water since we've had that session. And I know you've been able to create what almost seems like miracles to the outside person. It almost seems miraculous to some of the stories and testimonials that I know that you've got of people, allergies, eating foods that they can never eat before, pain, physical pain as well as emotional pain going away, people being able to quit negative habits. And so, I mean, all kinds of great success stories. So let's get into it. So you said you started off with something called the trigger release method, and now you've rebranded and relaunched yourself with the accelerated release technique. So tell us, what is the difference between the two? How did one evolve from the other?
Again, more and different questions. The difference has been, I'll be very honest. When I was working with my partner, her name's Helen, a lot of things, like, she was the spiritual one. She's the one who had the 30-year background, who had like this extraordinary amount of knowledge and like everything she's done. And she was super connected, like very intuitive. So a problem would come up and I'd go, oh, what do we do now? And I'd look at Helen and something would pop into her head. She'd just know what the next step was. And so she'd tell me, well, ask this question. So I would, and we're like, holy crap, wow, we got some amazing results out of there. So now we knew what the next step was. So I'd been relying on her, her intuitive gift and her divine downloads, as we'll call it. Okay. So that was how it went until our partnership broke up. And then it was just me. And I've always believed that there are so many methodologies out there. There's so much. Like you just Google energy work and you will find so many just different theories on how the energy systems work and how you can create healing through these various energy systems. I mean, some people work with the chakra fields, and other people, like I've seen stuff about like the etheric bodies, and other people talk about the law of attraction, and other people use Reiki, and other people. So, and then obviously there's the subconscious stuff like the emotion code and part of trigger release. You can see a little bit of the emotion code in trigger release, but trigger release took it to a whole new level. So I always knew that, see, all of those work, they all have something for which it works really, really well. But nothing really, they had their niche. It's like there was nothing out there that I could see, that I'd encountered, that really could do it all. And so what I started doing is essentially thinking about how all these other modalities could be incorporated. So like one of the things, like we had spiritual levels, and I said, well, why do we have these spiritual levels? There are chakras. I have a feeling these should be what we're calling our spiritual levels in TRM. That's really pointing to the chakras. So why am I I don't need to reinvent the wheel. Let's just like say it is what it is, and we'll call it the chakra levels, and it seems to work. And the etheric bodies, like that's another thing that I'm incorporating. And then the law of attraction. I realized the law of attraction has an enormous role to play in the work that I'm doing. It's really quite extraordinary. I took a whole new shift, where I used to say, let's say a person came in with a problem, and we would I'd ask the subconscious, okay, so what's underneath the problem? So what's triggering this problem? What's at the bottom of it? And I'd get some answers, and we may or may not completely resolve that issue. Out of the blue, it occurred to me, well, okay, let's see how the law of attraction works, because I know the stuff I'm releasing, like when we ask to release stuff, like the stuck energies, are emotions, and they are beliefs, and they are life events. And I know if you've got an emotion that's stuck, well, that means you're broadcasting that, right? Like that's what the law of attraction is about. When you are broadcasting certain emotions, that's what you're going to attract back to you. So I said, well, let's look at this from a different angle. I said, okay, maybe, because when we talk about when you talk about the law of attraction, we talk about manifesting stuff. Right. But you know how the law of attraction works is you don't manifest actual things.
That's right.
You manifest emotions. It's like attract like. So you put an emotion out there, and you attract that emotion back to you.
That's right.
The way you do it is by getting the stuff you want. Like if you're trying to attract a car, you think about, feel, like taste how it would be to have that car. So you broadcast all those feelings, and then this car shows up. And it might not even be the car you were thinking about, but you get the feelings you want. So you're totally happy. So it's not the car, it's the feelings.
That's right.
So it's like, okay, so let's see if that problem, so let's say it's a food allergy. Let's say if that food allergy is not actually the issue, but you're attracting some other set of emotions, and that food allergy is the universe's way of letting you get the emotions you're attracting. So just to give you an example, I worked with this little girl. She was like 6, turning 7. She had boatloads of food allergies. Like she couldn't eat dairy or gluten or nuts or strawberries and sugar and just everything good and yummy in the world. She wasn't allowed to eat it.
And that sucks for a 6 or 7-year-old
girl. It really
right?
does. Oh my God, I feel so sorry for this kid. So it's like, okay, so the work I was doing, I said, well, what are some negative emotions that you're attracting? And it was funny because I do it in clusters. It's not a single emotion. It's sort of an experience. So the 3 emotions in that grouping that popped up were hesitation, self-focused, and restraint. And her mom and I just went, wow, because that's exactly the experience. When she couldn't eat by not being allowed to eat all these foods, well, hesitation. Her parents were always like, I don't know if you should eat that.
Right.
Self-focused. She had to constantly be thinking about, am I allowed this? Am I not allowed this? She's like, she couldn't not think about herself. She had to focus on herself all the time. And restraint. She had to hold herself back. She was constantly having to stop herself from experiencing new things. So it was this cluster happening over and over and over again. Those emotions were stuck, and she was broadcasting them. And the universe said, oh, okay, you want to have the hesitation, the restraint, and have to focus on yourself. Well, let's just give you some food allergies.
Right.
So, and so she got to manifest those emotions over and over and over again. So we said, well, let's not do that anymore. How about? So we neutralized. So I used the new methodology to neutralize those emotions. And now she can eat everything. She left my office and ate ice cream with nuts.
Wow. With nuts.
With nuts. Oh my God. Like it was too funny because her dad, I saw her dad like a week later and he was at half in a panic. And I'm like, I wouldn't have given her the nuts right away either. Her mom must be crazy. Like I would have given her a cracker to try out, see if she can handle the gluten.
Right. Yeah.
But no, she was having dairy, sugar, nuts, everything all at one time. No problem.
It's amazing. And the way that you described, because many people, the law of attraction, for instance, has become very popularized in, sort of mainstream media and has become more of a mainstream word. But it's interesting because even though it's so mainstream, it's so very mystical still. It's still because not many people have brought the science into it, who have gone deep enough and have been passionate enough to actually observe it. And the way that you speak about the law of attraction as not as a manifesting physical things is what most people think. I want a car, I want a car, I want a car, right? And so they think this is what they're after, but really what you're talking about is the emotion that's happening underneath, and that is the real essence. And from my perspective, that's the real essence of the human experience, is emotions, right? It's what makes us different than some of the other species, this range of emotions. But even other species we know has emotions as well. So very interesting. So I want to ask you, because I want to kind of move that forward. So you've given us a bit of a distinction between the difference between the old methodology and how it's evolved into what you're doing now. So you shared one story about the girl. Are there other stories? Like, what are some other success stories that people have come, they've worked with you, they've gotten to see this work? What are the results? Like, what is the end result of being able to go through this and learning this methodology? Or this technique, I should say.
The end result is, again, it's better questions, better results. So things where, I've helped people before and we got 90% of the way there. Right. Now we can make it 100. Like now we got really underneath it, and the problem is no longer there. And that can be pains, that can be food intolerances, that can be anxiety, that can be just it runs the gamut. Like I've been amazed at the number of things that have really been like totally cleared, whereas before I was happy with an improvement,
right.
And now it's like, wow, it's pretty awesome. And I mean that in the, literally it inspires awe.
Yeah. Like I said, to the outside world, it sometimes seems like miracles, right? It sometimes is almost miraculous, almost, like you said, almost mystical. Is it possible to heal? And there's many healing stories, right? In all the major religions, there's healing stories and people being healed, and also outside of that. And, it's always thought, at least from my perspective, to be for a select few. Well, he's got a gift or she's got a gift, or they have some sort of divine purpose that allows them to heal, some sort of place in the universal hierarchy, if you will, and that's what allows them to do that. But what you're saying is, no, this is actually available to everybody. It's understanding the science, and once we understand the science, realize this is not for a select few, and the universe has no hierarchy system. It is available for everybody. Would you say that that's correct?
Absolutely. You nailed it. That's my mission. That's what I want to tell people and teach people. In fact, I'm so excited. I've got my first practitioner training workshop this coming weekend. So these are other people who, they've never done energy work before. They're interested in it, but they want to be able to do this for themselves. And I know after a weekend of training, they're going to be able to do exactly what I do. I mean, not as well after just a weekend. I've been practicing this for a while, but yeah, you do it and you do it and you do it and you get better and better and better at it. And it's extraordinary what you can see and experience.
Fantastic. So tell us a little bit about the weekend that's coming up. So for everybody watching, this is you're going to be training others to do what you do, to be able to ask the right questions, to get the better answers, and you're going to be able to help them to actually help heal others. Right? Is that correct? So tell us a little bit about what the weekend's about. Like, what would somebody get out, or what would they expect when they attend this weekend workshop?
What they can expect is they will know every last piece of information that I know.
Which is a lot. I'll give you that. Renu loves a ton.
It actually, yeah, like I've been astounded at like just writing the manual. Every few pages, I'm like, oh, wow, I've got to include this too, and I really should include that. And there's this new piece and this new piece, and so this manual is getting pretty thick. But but they will have it all at their fingertips. So I've got the methodology all broken down because, like I said, it's about asking the right questions. Ask the right questions in the right order. So you ask question A followed by question B. If you get a weird answer for question B, then you might want to ask, this kind of, because we get interferences and stuff like that. Well, how do we deal with that? And there's instructions for everything. What question do you ask when you hit this roadblock? And let's work through it. And then at the end of the day, you get the answer. Is this problem all clear? Your subconscious says yes. You feel pretty confident that it's all clear. Obviously, I haven't. I don't promise that we can address 100% of problems for 100% of people,
Right.
because there's still. I'm still learning more stuff. In fact, to be honest, like I was late in doing the manual because even a couple of days ago, there was another revelation that came to me like, oh, I need to include this now. And I've only tested it on myself and went, wow, that's really neat. So yeah, and it's knowing, because it's about like, there's different stuck energies and type of energies and stuff like that. So it's thinking about them and just it's putting together this really big picture and being able to see how everything fits into the picture. And so I was just saying this new little piece, it dawned on me, oh, well, that would fit here as well as here. Like I've only been looking at it from one perspective, but if I ask this question, then I can get I get some other results, or it has its other place. So everything, I'm trying to look at every piece from all angles, and occasionally I come up with a new angle, and that gets incorporated too.
That's the scientist in you. That's the scientist.
In you.
Yeah, and I love it. I love the fact that you have a science background, because again, I think to the skeptical person out there, right? We need that. I know I need that. That's why I enjoy talking to you, because it's like, okay, but there's some science here. There's some research. It's not just an intuitive kind of, oh, well, this is where we're at, and let that be that, right? But there is actually some proof in the pudding, and you can duplicate it, meaning you can teach it. I always say it's real if you can teach it. If you can get somebody else to also be able to do it, then you've got something that has some real substance, and that's what you've got. So I so appreciate that. All right, so I'm just seeing the time. We got about a minute left. So let's, somebody's watching this, they're going, well, how do I learn? How do I get involved? What do they got to do to learn and get involved? Like, how can they get in contact with you?
Getting in contact with me is easy. Go to my website, healfromyourpast.com. I've got my contact information there. You can email me. You can read all about, well, it says the trigger release method. I'm gonna be updating that to say the accelerated release technique. You can sign up for workshops. Once this one's done, I'm planning to have a next one all sorted out for maybe 5-6 months from now. So it'll be on the calendar as well very soon. And it's, if you want to just try it out, sign up. I've got a spot to have a demonstration. So plug your name in and book a half hour with me, and I will show you how it works.
Fantastic.
'Cause that's, I don't expect people to just take me for my word. Although, I'm pretty honest looking, aren't I?
I know you are.
But no, I want everybody to try it. I want everybody to just sit down with me and let me show you how it works. And I haven't had anyone yet who's let me sit down with them and show them not feel a difference.
Yeah.
And that goes with skeptics too. So
absolutely.
Yeah,
love it. Fantastic.
It's pretty neat.
All right, guys. So again, you're watching this. You're obviously interested. I recommend booking the half an hour. I did it. I worked with Renu, and she helped me drink more water. She also helped me realize some things about myself that I knew were made on all the difference in my life, right? When it came to my own self-love and my own self-care. So I so appreciate that. And I know you're helping tons of people. Again, I've got to work with you over the last year, so I've seen the testimonials coming in. So definitely take advantage of that half an hour with Renu. All right, fantastic. So I think that wraps up today's show.
All right,
awesome.
Thank you so much, Nick, for being in the other side of the
host
chair.
chair.
The host chair for me. And yeah, so now I'm going to have to. This is not nearly so elegant. I'm going to have to go over to the other place so I can shut this whole thing off.
All right, fantastic.
But thank you so much for being here. Thanks to my viewers for watching and for bearing with us through the technical difficulties in the beginning. I will see you again next week.
Awesome.
Oh, and next week we are doing Reiki. That's the topic. So if you want to know the science behind Reiki, and yes, indeed, there is some of that too, then please stop on by.
Awesome.
All right.
See ya.
We're going to sign off. Bye-bye.
Bye.